Okay, so now that all the mechanical stuff is pretty well done, it's time to do the lubrication. So, gonna step through all this stuff and see what we gotta do. Okay, they say front springs get penetrating oil. So, here we go. Some WD-40 is good enough, I think, for that. On each side. Okay, first thing's done. Okay, it says there's steering knuckle pivot, 2 fittings each side. So, I was looking around, scraping around, found that one right there. But where's the other one? Must be around the front. Where would it be hidden? Is there one up higher? Wait, okay. I think I might see it. It's way up there. I think that's it there, ain't it? Okay, next thing is a drag link ball joint each side. And it's pointing to something right there. Let's go see if we can find that. Okay, drag link ball joint right there. Do you think each side? Oh, this must be the other side. So, there and there. Alright. Okay, tie rod ball joint, one each side. Alright, let's see where that's at. Tie rod ball joint must be running right there. And another one right there. Okay, power steering tie rod unit, 300 model only. Well, I got a 100 and I don't have power steering, so I don't need that. Clutch and brake pedal linkage. I'll have to wait till I get inside the truck, and that takes something else. What is that? EO? Engine oil. So that should be fairly easy. Just put a little bit of engine oil on that. Clutch and brake pedal shaft, 2 fittings. P200, P300 models only. Don't have that. Gear shift control lever on steering column. Oh, I definitely have that. I'll have to grease that up. Spring bolt fitting each side, 300 only. Nope, don't have that. Rear spring shackles, 300 only. Don't have that. Front spring shackle, 1 fitting each side. Let's go see if we can find it. Had to dig around a bit, but I did finally find it. It was buried underneath a bunch of old crusty grease. And there is one on each side. So, there they are. Don't forget those. Okay, next thing. Front wheel bearing. Oh, did that when we did the brakes. Automatic transmission, load flight. I don't have a load flight. Manual transmission. We just did that. We changed the oil like a week ago. Universal joints. Okay, we got to go do those now. and the propeller shaft spline. So when you saw me doing the universal joints, replacing them, you saw where all that stuff was. So I'm just going to go back and grease that. Forgot something. This is supposed to be attached to that. So I got to push that seal and then attach it to that shaft, or that yoke. So I'm going to work on that and we'll get that greased up. Okay, I pushed that piece back into place and then I folded those tabs back over. So hopefully that holds on there fairly well. Here's a hint on this back Zerk. It can't be gotten on when it's on the top, so you got to rotate it around to the bottom and then you can get the grease gun on it. And don't forget the yoke up here. Had to rotate that around, remember, because I screwed up and put those two on the different opposite sides. So now I can get to that one after I rotated the back tire to get to where I needed to. Hey buddy, how you doing, huh? You come to be on TV? All right. Oh, you're happy. Wonder which neighbor yous are. All right, boy. Or girl, whatever you are. Oh, you're happy, aren't you? Let's see what your name is. Who are you? Got a phone number. I better not put that on anything. Gus. That's your name. All right, hey Gus. Now we know who you are. Okay, back to work. All right, that was the propeller shaft spline. We got that one. Brake booster cartridge if equipped. Nope, don't have that. Rear axle differential. Hey, we just changed that one out just not too long ago. And rear wheel bearings. So, what do we have left? We have to go back and do the pedals and the gear shift and the manual steering gear. So 3 things left to go. Ah, clutch linkage. It's right there. So I gotta grease that up. Okay, the remaining thing is that shaft there that's supposed to just get engine oil. But I think I'm just going to use penetrating oil and call it a day. Next step is to check the brake fluid and the clutch fluid and make sure that they're both full. Clutch is a little bit low, so it looks like we should probably top that off. Brakes are still looking pretty good, so let's put that back together. Radiator still full, looking pretty good. Overflow tank is still yet to catch anything, so it hasn't overheated yet at all. Okay, I need to adjust my windshield washers because they're spraying here. And they're supposed to be spraying 10 inches over from the center of the window and 1 inch down. So it should be someplace right about there. Yeah, maybe right about there. So I need to make some adjustments. Oops, 1 inch down. So it's probably up higher. Yeah, almost to the top. So right up in here is where it should be trying to get to. Alright, I'm going to make some adjustments and see if I can get it there. Nope, I'm going to have to take the cowl off if I'm going to make that adjustment. Well, it's hump day. Let's see what we can do to get this hump cleaned up and ready to go back in the truck. I think I'm just going to scrape loose all of this extra caulk that's been put around on it and then try to put something else in there as a sealer. But we'll see how that goes. Okay, I kind of got it pretty well cleaned up. I scraped off all of the old caulk that was on there with the scraper. Then I took my wire brush and kind of ground it off. Then I took some brake clean and sprayed it and wiped it down, got it fairly clean. Now I'm going to try to use some of this butyl sealing tape and put it around on the seam and see if I can't get that to hold and use it to seal this up instead of using caulk. Alright, I do have to say that this stuff really does stick down really well, and it's really sticky stuff. So let's go put this back in the truck and we'll give it a try. Oh, before I put the hump back in, I think I need to clean up the clean up this area too, just to make sure that it's good for sticking on the other side. So now I got to work on that. Now I need a small piece behind where this cable goes, so I'm going to put a little mark here so I kind of know. And then I'll take this back out, and then we'll put a small piece right in here to cover the back side. I wonder if I take this off now, if I put this here, will it hold? We'll see. Alright, now I think it's time to pull everything off of the hump and then put it back in place. Okay, I think I have it pretty well in position. I put punches in. Now I just got to insert each of the bolts. Alright, now that I have all of the bolts inserted, now I have to go fish around underneath and try to put in all of the nuts. That's not going to be fun because it's going to be hard to hold on to the bolt while I insert the nut, and hopefully they don't spin too much. Okay, I'm working on my last bolt. Did them all pretty much the same way. Put my wrench on the nut, or on the bolt. Use this magnetic holder to hold the wrench in place. Then I go around to the back side and put the nut on the bolt after I had cleaned them all up. And then once I get it started, I put a vice grip on it and then use the or the Milwaukee ratchet there to tighten it up. Seems to be going very well. Alright, now the next step is to put that floor mat back in here. So I got that all vacuumed up and cleaned out, and now I'm going to slip that back in. Okay, now that the floor mat is back in place, I need to put the gas pedal back in and then put a few of the little lockdown things that hold the mat up against the firewall. And then seat belts, I suppose, after that. Okay, if you're curious, that's what the bolts look like that hold down the gas pedal. And those are the little push plug things that hold in the floor mat. If you're curious about what size screwdriver to use, just use the biggest one you got because it's a giant Phillips head. Now for the mat hold downs, there's one there. There's another one over on the other side of the brake pedal. I don't know if you can see it there. There's one up there. There's one that ripped out underneath the heater core, and there's probably another one up in the far corner, and then there's one more right here that ripped out next to the windshield washer. I think all you got to do is just push those in. Yep, that's right, they just push in. There you go. Just like that. Alright, the mat's in, the pedal's in. Now, oh, I forgot. I also need to replace the heater defroster hoses. That needs to happen. Alright. Okay, I got the defroster hose on. I think I might just leave the old one on because, man, they're such a pain to get on. But that one was completely falling apart, so we'll have to see how this other one goes. Maybe I can just leave it. What's it look like up there? Anything good? Yeah, it's still on there. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Okay, so I thought at first I could disconnect the seat belts and just kind of slip them on underneath there, but after I started turning on it, it didn't, you know, the bolt was turning. So I'm going to stick a screwdriver in there, grab the small impact wrench, and try to twist them off that way. No problem, it zipped right out. There's the type of mount on the bottom that it holds. There's a washer on top, and then this weird looking nut. Alright, let's go get the new seat belts and see how they go in. So here's my first new seat belt. I think I'm going to put the non-latching end to the outside. That way if it gets beat up or whatever, it's going to be less of a problem. I think all I got to do is just put that in right up here underneath that washer. Like so. And then run the bolt through. Alright, I've put it in place kind of like that. And now I'm just going to run it in. There it is, nice and snug. Alright. Kind of have it sitting out a little bit so that way it'll come around the seat. Now I just gotta do the other three. Well, that didn't work. It threw the screwdriver clean out of the thing. So I'm going to try something a little more heavy duty this time. Alright, the driver's side seat belts are in place. Now let's swing over and do the passenger side. Okay, all 4 seat belts are now in place. It was a little tricky. Had to use some creative mounting or holding while I was under the truck, like with long sticks and and lug wrenches and stuff like that, just to hold things up while I got the nut end to hold. But there it is, it's all in place. Okay guys, I went and tried out the seat belts. They're pretty good. I got the 74s and I'm kind of glad I did, because if I ever move the seat forward or anything like that, you know, the 60s would be way too short. So if you're curious about what length to get, the 64s seem to like the 74 length. So anyway, they worked really well. Then I went and got this thing into second gear too, out on the road out over here, which you can't hardly see. Ah, there it is. But works pretty good. All right, talk to you later.